Hey everybody, I'm Eduardo Talbert with MonsterTutorials.com. In today's tutorial we're going to make a tongue. See that tongue? Put the light on it so a little more visible. You see that tongue? That's what we're going to be making today. I had made this tongue before a while ago and I used it mostly for my pictures for Instagram, where I would just put it inside the mouth of a skeleton, of a skull or something like that. So I did pictures like these right here. I was asked, how did you make the tongue? And I didn't have the need to put a tongue tutorial together until now. The next tutorial after this one is a really cool tutorial that requires a tongue. And I don't think it would be fair to you guys if I go do a tutorial and say you need a tongue and not show you how to do it. So today we're doing the tongue, so that the next tutorial we use the tongue. I'm not going to use a long one like this. I'm going to make a shorter one, but it's going to look just like this. So anyway, let's get started. Okay, what we're going to need for this tongue tutorial, this paper towel. This is one of those half, and we're going to use about half of it. So I'm going to cut this in half lengthwise. Glue, a little bit of water, some wire. This is optional, but it helps. Masking tape, and the cheapest toilet paper you can find. No print. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is cut this in half. There you go. Now I'm going to start at this corner and this corner and just twist it. Start at one end, then do the opposite end. I'm just twisting it. I just want it to be pointy so that it ends up like the points on this tongue. Once you get there, just twist it all together. Just twist it really tight without ripping it in half. Okay, so you got that. Now this part is the optional one. It's where we take a piece of wire the same length, except for maybe an inch, because I don't want these guys to get too thick. So start the wire about there. You see it right there? All the way to the same part on the other side, so about right here. When I use this tiny little clippers, I don't know whose they are, I found them here in the house, but they are tiny. Okay, the reason I say the wire is optional is because once you put the wire, you can give the tongue whatever shape you want, right? So that's going to help in the initial shaping and positioning of your tongue. I'm going to take the trusty pink glue gun and let's glue the wire to the piece of paper towel. Three. So that's glued. So now what we're going to do is just bend it right down the middle, just like that. See that? I'll squeeze it. Alright, so this is going to be a forked tongue, so I'm going to leave those two ends separate. Okay, so this is ready. I'm going to just give it some shape. That's why we use the wire. I'm going to bend it this way. See that? Then a little bit this way. And this. A little more. See that? Okay, now I'm going to do is wrap the whole tongue with masking tape. What I'll do is I'll make sure that these deeper areas that I sink the tape in there. The good thing about masking tape, you can smooth it out with your finger and it'll take the shape that you push into it. Okay, so I'll continue to wrap the whole tongue with the masking tape. There you go. I have wrapped the whole tongue in masking tape, including the two little ends of the fork tongue. For this next step, I just have a little bit of water and school glue. I'm going to mix them equal parts. Fortunately for me, I used to make jewelry, so I used to use this thing to hold little pieces while you put them together, and I have it left over. But I found a few of these at thrift shops for like real cheap, $2 or $3. I'm going to use this to hold the tongue while I do the corpsing with the toilet paper. We're going to take strips of the super cheap toilet paper, and then all I'm going to do is brush some of the water glue mixture on the tongue, and then we're going to lay the toilet paper over it. I'm going to continue doing this with toilet paper until the tongue is covered all the way, about 2 or 3 coats. We're going to let it dry between layers. So you get 1 layer, let it dry, 2 layers, let it dry, on the 3rd layer, let it dry. And what that will do, it'll give it a smoother texture and it'll make it soft too. So it gets a smoother look like this. Okay, our little tongue is nice and dry now. It's not wet or sticky anymore. So I'm gonna, like I always do with my corpsing, I like to paint it to seal it with a black latex paint. You can use any color, but I like black latex to start, and from there we'll paint it red and give it all the color. If you notice this one and look at the edge, you'll see that it was black to begin with. See that? And then the red was painted over it. Now, if you want your tongue to have a nice little texture like this, then just go with your brush, just dab it like that, and it'll give it the look of like taste buds. It won't be all smooth and shiny. So we're going to let this dry, and then we'll do that dry brushing with the red color, and then the final step to make it look like it's wet. So we're almost done. Okay, I'm gonna mix a combination of reds and pinks with just a touch of blue and a little bit of yellow, just to give it kind of like a fleshy tone, something like this tongue or like this handle. This is going to be the base color, which is a very fleshy, dark red. I added a little bit of white right here, and I'm taking this big brush, just very dry, putting some red and white. Dry it really well, and then just dry dab your tongue. That will give it the texture of taste buds. Okay, so this tongue is done. It's all painted the red or pink that I just showed you. And the last step for this is just to take some Mod Podge or some clear nail polish and just paint all over it. That'll make it look like it's all nice and wet. You can also take a glue gun and make some drops of saliva if you want to. So I'm going to cover this with Mod Podge and we should be done. So there you have it. A nice, shiny, wet looking tongue. This one is unusually pink because I'm using it for a tutorial for something that is a little bit more cartoony. If I wanted something more realistic, I would do a color more like this. Okay, so if you like this tutorial, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you can see what I can do with my tongue. Make sure to subscribe so you can see what I can do with this tongue. Okay, that sounded not very correctly. So subscribe so you can see the tutorial where we're going to use this. Until next time, I am Eduardo Talbert with MonsterTutorials.com. See you next time.